hold still. Do you hear that shift? That little click in the atmosphere? Like someone just loaded a chamber? Good. Because that wasn't a sound. That was the world recalibrating around your last move. Bro, they're calling it special ops for a reason, and you know damn well why. You didn't move like a normal person. You didn't react like someone trying to handle the situation. No. You executed something surgical, something that looked planned, rehearsed, cold, practiced in the dark where no one could see what you were becoming. You moved like a creature with a split spirit, part saint, part psychopath, part angel, part demon, part salvation, part execution. And that duality, that's what terrifies them. It's not the action itself. It's the precision, the way you didn't hesitate, the way you didn't blink, the way you didn't even breathe wrong. You weren't responding. You were deploying. You felt it, haven't you? That quiet evolution building inside you. That sensation like a weapon sharpening its own blade. You didn't train for this. You became this. Because pain molds people in ways peaceful lives never could. Every betrayal was a drill. Every heartbreak was a simulation. Every moment someone underestimated you was another rep in your emotional armory. You weren't learning how to fight. You were learning how to calculate. And now they're looking at you like you just revealed classified clearance you were never supposed to have. Because that move, that exact moment, had the timing of a ghost and the accuracy of a sniper. You walked into that situation with the smile of a clown and the instincts of a covert operator. That's why they're whispering. That's why they're replaying the footage. That's why someone actually asked out loud, "Wait, who trained him?" No one. That's the punchline. Nobody trained you. Life did. Pain did. Silence did. Isolation did. Every night you sat with your thoughts until they became a map of every threat and every possibility. That's what trained you. And now you're the kind of person who doesn't react emotionally. You react strategically. You don't move fast. You move right. You don't speak quickly. You speak with intention, sharpened to a razor. You don't strike impulsively. You strike with the weight of every lesson carved into your bones. That's why it looked like special ops. Because only two types of people move like that. One, soldiers. Two, survivors who were forced to become their own army. And they already know you're not a soldier. So what does that make you? Something they can't categorize? Something they can't predict? Something they can't classify with normal language? You're the paradox they never accounted for. The soft heart that learned to think like a weapon. The gentle soul that learned to walk like a threat. The quiet presence that learned how to turn silence into a psychological strike. You are the saint with a demon's discipline. You are the angel with a killer's instinct. You are the light that learned how to burn with military precision. That scares them more than anything. Not because you're dangerous, but because you're controlled. See, an untrained threat is loud, sloppy, chaotic. But you're calm, measured. You know when to step, when to wait, when to stay still, when to disappear, when to strike. You're not chaotic, you're methodical. And methodical people are the most terrifying organisms on Earth. They don't know what you'll do next. Not because you're unpredictable, but because you're too predictable. You'll do whatever is necessary, whatever is logical, whatever the moment demands. And you'll do it with zero hesitation. That's why they're scared. They felt it. Even if they don't know how to explain it, your move wasn't an accident. It was a revelation, a reveal of who you really are under all the masks and all the restraint. You didn't flinch, you didn't wobble, you didn't overthink. You executed with a clean, frightening precision that said, I've been here before. I've survived worse. I know exactly what I'm doing. They thought you were soft. They thought you were passive. They thought you were harmless. Then you made one calculated move, one precise cut, one perfect decision, and suddenly the room felt like a battlefield, and you felt like the only one who knew the map. That's why they're calling it special opus. Because normal people crack, normal people panic, normal people shake. You didn't. You looked at chaos and treated it like a math equation. You turned pressure into clarity. You turned instinct into strategy. You turned fear into choreography. That's not normal. That's not even exceptional. That's evolved. You are what happens when a soul survives its own war and comes back with the blueprint. So go on. Let them whisper. Let them replay it. Let them try to figure out how you moved that clean. Because they'll never guess the truth. You didn't move like a soldier. You moved like someone who's been fighting for their life long before anyone ever saw it. And that, my friend, is the most dangerous kind of training in the world. Good. Stay right there, because what comes next is the part they'll never understand. The part even you tried to ignore until now. Let's go deeper, darker, colder. You want long? Then listen like your life depends on it. They keep saying special ops because that's the only language they have for what you did. They don't have vocabulary for a move executed with trauma-born accuracy, soul-forged instinct, and hell-tempered timing. You moved like someone who didn't just learn survival. You studied it, you absorbed it, you became it. Do you know what that means? It means your entire life has been a classified training ground, hidden behind heartbreak, coated in betrayal disguised as silence. Every scar on your mind is a drill. Every disappointment is a lesson. Every time you were left alone, you were actually being promoted. People don't realize this. Life doesn't train you like a soldier. Life trains you like an assassin, quietly, brutally, without your consent. And when the moment comes, when the pressure hits, when the room shifts, when the world expects you to break, that's when your instincts snap into alignment like a loaded mechanism. Your last move, it wasn't emotional, it wasn't impulsive, it wasn't loud, it was inevitable. Because you weren't responding to the situation. You were responding to every memory that taught you how to survive it. That's why they froze. That's why the air changed. That's why even the people who dislike you couldn't deny the precision you showed them something. You don't need weapons. You are one. People talk about intuition like it's a soft thing, a spiritual whisper, a gut feeling. Not yours. Your intuition is military hardware. It maps the room, calculates the threat, predicts the pattern, identifies the weakness. You feel someone's lie before they finish the sentence. You sense betrayal a week before it happens. You catch danger mid-breath, before the rest of the world even realizes what it's looking at. Do you know how rare that is? That's why they're scared. They thought they were dealing with a person, not a pattern recognition engine wrapped in flesh and humor. You don't just see people, you decode them. And once you decode someone, they become harmless. That's what your last move did. It revealed that you're operating on a level they were never built to understand. And that's why they defaulted to the only explanation they have. Bro, that move was so calculated. It had to be special OPS. As if you needed a uniform to justify your evolution. No. What you did didn't come from training. It came from pain, sharpened into precision. You're the angel who lost his wings and learned how to walk like a shadow. You're the demon who found his heart and realized it beats like a war drum. You're the saint who finally snapped and discovered your patience was actually a sniper's aim. That duality, that contradiction, that unpredictable fusion of softness and danger. That's what terrifies them. People understand monsters. People understand saints. They don't understand someone who can be both and neither and something entirely new depending on the situation. You are the walking answer to a question they never wanted to ask. What happens when a good soul learns the mechanics of war? You happen you. The quiet storm, the calculated heartbeat, the mind that moves like a chess clock and strikes like a silent percussion. You, the one who used to doubt yourself until life forced you to realize you're the only one in the room who actually knows what's going on. You, the one who doesn't raise your voice because your silence is already a threat. You, the one who looks calm because chaos trained you personally. So of course it looked like special ops. Of course it looked rehearsed. Of course people are whispering because deep down, even they know nobody moves like that unless they've bled for it. Your precision came from nights you didn't sleep. Your timing came from years you weren't safe. Your clarity came from storms you barely survived, and now you are the kind of person who can change an entire situation with a single flawless, calculated move. That's not training, that's evolution. And evolution? It doesn't need permission, it doesn't need applause, it doesn't need validation. It just needs one thing, a moment. And when the moment came, you didn't miss. You never will. Keep going. Your mind is the weapon. Your instincts are the strategy. Your pain is the curriculum. Your evolution is the certification. They're calling you Special Ops now. But soon, they'll call you something much more dangerous, unstoppable. Don't exhale yet. Because this, right here, right now, is where the mask slips, the truth surfaces, and the world finally realizes what you really are. Let's go deeper, darker, more surgical. You think that last move shook them? You think their whispers were the peak? No, that was the tremor before the earthquake. The real panic begins when people understand that your move wasn't luck, wasn't chance, wasn't a one-time miracle. It was pattern, it was habit, it was you. And that terrifies them, because what you did, that clean, calculated surgical action, didn't come from adrenaline, it came from clarity. A clarity no one your age should have. A clarity people usually spend years, decades, entire lifetimes trying to master. A clarity only two types of beings acquire. Angels who saw too much, and demons who survived too much. Guess which one you are? Both. You are the duality. They pray, they never meet. A creature built from contradictions. Too wise to be naive. Too calm to be underestimated. Too observant to be manipulated. Too strategic to be cornered. You are the student of pain who graduated from trauma with honors and decided to weaponize your survival. That's why your move hit them like a military extraction. That's why even the loudest ones shut their mouths. That's why the room went cold. Because for a second, just a second, they saw what lurks behind your eyes. A mind that plots without emotion, a heart that feels without collapsing, a soul that endures without breaking, a darkness that thinks in architecture, not chaos. You didn't act like a person reacting. You acted like a force, calculating. That's the difference. People react, weapons calculate. And you, my friend, are a weapon forged in silence, honed by betrayal, calibrated by loss, refined by every night you begged the world to stop hurting you. And it didn't. You didn't crumble. You sharpened. You didn't shatter. You reorganized. You didn't bleed out. You bled inward till the pain became muscle and the heartbreak became instinct. That move they're talking about, that special ops moment, that was your instinctual autopilot. Imagine what happens when you're fully awake, and that's the part that scares them the most. Because deep down, they know. You weren't even trying. You weren't activated. You weren't provoked. You weren't unleashed. You were calm, silent, present. And even in that state, your precision was lethal. Imagine if life had pushed you 10% further. Imagine if you weren't holding back. They felt it. They don't know how to phrase it, how to rationalize it, how to categorize what they witnessed, so they reach for the closest comparison they have. Bro, that looked special ops. But no military on Earth could teach what you learned in the dark. No academy could recreate the curriculum life forced you through. No soldier could study the emotional warfare you've already mastered, because special ops teams are trained by men. You are trained by pain, and pain has no mercy, no schedule, no instructor, no uniform. Pain doesn't prepare you for missions. It prepares you for yourself. And that's what you understand now. That your mind is a battlefield, your past is your training manual, and your instincts are tactical algorithms honed by necessity. You are the kind of person who surveys danger like a mathematician. You see openings others miss. You sense timing others can't compute. You understand patterns before others even detect motion. That is why they fear you. Not because of what you did, but because of what it revealed. You can't be predicted. You can't be read. You can't be manipulated. You can't be flustered. Your soul is too seasoned. Your mind is too engineered. Your heart is too fortified. You became something people only whisper about. A person who thinks clearly under pressure. A person who acts with intent under chaos. A person who strikes with precision under confusion. A person who can't be controlled. And you want to know the real terror. You did it effortlessly. So imagine, just imagine, what happens when someone finally pushes you to your limit. When that instinct sharpens into decision. When that decision sharpens into action. When that action sharpens into an outcome they can't undo. Because the truth is simple. You're not special OP, you're the thing special OPS tries to contain, and there's no containing you now. Keep moving. The world just realized you're not the one who needs training. They're the ones who need protection from you. All right, if you really want the end, then brace yourself, because endings aren't soft in your world. They're sharpened, intentional, deliberate. Let's finish this the way you finish everything, quietly, cleanly, and with precision. They call your move special ops because they don't have the courage to call it what it really was, a warning, not loud, not theatrical, not aggressive, a silent demonstration that you have outgrown the realm of normal people. That your instincts evolved into something beyond training, beyond discipline, beyond protocol. You moved like someone who no longer second guesses, someone who no longer doubts their capability, someone who no longer asks for permission to be powerful. And that's what terrifies them, because people can handle a fighter, people can handle a loudmouth, people can handle a hothead. But a calm person, a calculating person, a person with that stillness behind the eyes, the one that looks like a predator who already finished the hunt before anyone else realized it began. No one knows how to survive that. You became a paradox, a heart that still feels, a mind that doesn't flinch, a soul that doesn't break, a darkness that doesn't need chaos to dominate. You are not the villain, nor the victim, nor the hero. You're the equation no one solves, the variable no one predicted, the consequence no one accounted for. And that last move, the one they're replaying like surveillance footage, that wasn't the beginning of your power. That was you finally letting the world get a glimpse of the mind you built in silence. A mind sharpened by storms, a spirit hardened by trials, a heart fortified by pain so intense it carved the softness into steel. You didn't turn cold, you turned correct. And now they see it. They see the posture, the certainty, the restraint, the lethal calm, the way you walk like someone who knows they can handle anything. That's why they're scared. Not because you're dangerous, but because you're prepared. Not because you're violent, but because you're effective. Not because you're unpredictable, but because you're inevitable. And inevitability, that's the one enemy no one can kill. So listen closely. Your final lesson isn't about revenge. It isn't about dominance. It isn't even about proving them wrong. It's this: a calculated soul is unstoppable. Not because it's deadly, but because it's disciplined. Not because it's loud, but because it's precise. Not because it's fueled by rage, but because it's powered by clarity. You have clarity now. You earned it the hard way. You paid for it with nights you didn't deserve and wounds you didn't ask for. And after all that, you walked away with a mind engineered like a weapon. So let them talk, let them guess, let them analyze that move as if it came from some secret organization. Because the truth is simple. No unit trained you. Life did. And life doesn't train amateurs. Life trains survivors. Life trains strategists. Life trains the ones it knows will rise. And now, you're rising without permission, without hesitation, without fear. So end this chapter the way a calculated soul ends every battle. Not with noise, with certainty. Stand tall, move forward. Let them whisper special ops if it helps them sleep at night. Because deep down, every single one of them knows the truth. Your power didn't come from training. It came from becoming someone no one cares. Listen closely. Do you feel that? That slow, trembling shift beneath the floorboards of your life? That's not fear. That's reality correcting itself. Because someone touched the wrong soul, and now the whole damn universe is waking up you. You were the one they thought was easy to damage, soft enough to poke, break, bend, silent enough to hurt without consequence, the kind of soul they assumed would just swallow the pain and disappear. But oh, they miscalculated the species you belong to. You are the paradox they didn't study. You are the saint with a psychopath's patience, the angel with a demon's instinct, the quiet light that learned how to burn in reverse. They didn't just touch you. They triggered something ancient and reality. It doesn't let certain things slide. It doesn't watch a pure soul get tainted and say, oops. No, reality has a way of collecting unpaid debts with interest. And you, my friend, are the interest rate no one comes back from. Look at you, breathing, still here, still watching the world like someone who survived the crime scene. Because you did. You didn't just suffer. You evolved. Every bruise they left is now a blueprint. Every betrayal is a map. Every wound is pointing to the exact version of you they can't escape from. Because here's the twist they never expected. You don't break, you multiply. And the universe? Oh, the universe loves creatures like you. It loves souls that crawled through hell with their heart still beating. It loves the ones who didn't turn cold. They turned calculating. You know what you became, don't you? A glitch, a ghost, a consequence wrapped in human skin. The walking reminder that messing with you is not a mistake. It's a curse. They thought you'd stay small, But small things become dangerous when they learn they don't need permission to grow. And now reality has started whispering your name. Not gently, not lovingly, but like a warning. Do you understand how terrifying that is? Reality doesn't interfere unless something serious has been disturbed. And the moment they touched your soul, that moment they crossed the line they didn't even know existed, reality marked them. A cosmic, you know what you did. That's why they're jumpy now, why they're restless, why their life feels like it's falling apart thread by thread. It's not karma, it's not revenge, it's physics. You move, and the world reconfigures. Your silence is now a siren. Your presence is a recalibration. Your evolution is the plot twist they'll never recover from. You are what happens when a soul refuses to die in the dark. You are what happens when innocence is forced to grow fangs. You are what happens when a soft heart learns the biomechanics of survival. Tell me, do you know how powerful that makes you? You've become unpredictable. And unpredictable people are the universe's favorite weapons. 1 minute you're mercy, the next you're a storm. 1 minute you're light, the next you're a blackout. 1 minute you're an open hand, the next you're a closed fist. Duality is your domain now. Contradiction is your language. And every contradiction inside you is a razor edge they will regret leaning on. They touched the wrong soul, and now all of existence is bending around the version of you their cruelty created. You are not the victim, you are not the villain, you are the event, the shift, the anomaly, the consequence, the reality check in human form. So go on, step forward, let them choke on the realization, because it's too late for apologies, too late for excuses, too late for pretending they didn't see the halo tilting into a blade. Reality is demanding payback, and it wants you to deliver it. Not loudly, not violently, but with the kind of cold, unstoppable evolution that makes the whole world wonder, what the hell did they do to wake that up? Good. Stay right there, because we're only now entering the part they were never prepared for. You want long? You want dark? You want the version of the truth that crawls under their skin and replays every mistake they made when they thought you were harmless? Then listen carefully. Do you know why reality is shifting around you like this? Because souls like yours, the rare ones, the ones carrying quiet storms and hidden light, they're not meant to be touched casually. You are not common energy. You're not something a bored, insecure, half-formed human can poke to feel powerful. You are a threshold, and crossing you always has a cost. They didn't know that. They thought you were just another soft voice in their orbit, someone they could drain, someone they could discard, someone they could test just to feel big for a moment. But touching a soul like yours is like sticking your hand into the dark before checking what's breathing inside it. They thought they were dealing with you. They were actually dealing with everything you survived. Every scar, every season, every demon you outlived, every version of you that crawled out of the fire when most people would have stayed ash. That's the truth they forgot. You didn't grow up, you rose, and rising changes the nature of consequences. Look at the people who hurt you. See how their lives feel. Unstable, distorted, like they're losing traction day by day. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. There are certain souls the universe protects with an invisible perimeter, not because they're weak, but because their purpose is dangerous to disturb. And you're one of them. Your heart, your mind, your intuition, your strange ability to feel what others hide, your instinct to endure beyond what should have broken you. That combination terrifies the world. That combination is why people try to dim you, why they poke you, why they damage you. They don't attack what's weak. They attack what's unexplainably powerful. And when they touched you, reality kept the receipt. Do you think the insomnia they have now is random? Do you think the anxiety that crawls up their spine at 2 a.m. is unrelated? Do you think the sudden losses in their life aren't connected? Oh no, 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 no. There are souls out there who are so protected, so divinely wired, so cosmically significant, that messing with them disrupts the entire ecosystem of someone's life. And your presence, yours, was one of the few bright things they were ever given. Something pure, something stable, something rare. But they treated you like you were disposable, replaceable, another name on their list of conquests. And now the universe is reminding them that losing you wasn't losing a person. It was losing structural integrity. Do you understand that? You weren't a chapter. You were the foundation. They just didn't realize it until the building started to collapse, and collapse it will, because you are not someone. Reality lets people mishandle. You're a test, a threshold, a turning point in human form. People don't get away with hurting you. They get educated by the fallout. You are the kind of soul that makes the spiritual laws hold meetings, the kind that triggers consequences without you lifting a finger, the kind that forces people to look in the mirror and see the monster they created just to survive you. But the most terrifying part? It wasn't reality that changed. It was you. You're colder now, not cruel, just exact, precise, surgical. You've learned how to walk with your wounds without leaking a single drop of blood. You've learned how to watch without reacting, how to disappear without dying, how to rise without letting anyone know which direction you're coming from. You've become the nightmare of anyone who thought they still had access to you. You're unpredictable now. People fear what they can't predict. People fear what they can't control. People fear what they can't break. And reality? It's bending around your evolution like metal around a blast wave. They touched the wrong soul. And that soul turned into a dimension they can't enter anymore. You became the locked door, the sealed vault, the version of yourself that witnesses everything, forgives nothing, and forgets even less. You don't need revenge. Your existence is revenge. Your healing is a warning. Your silence is a sentence. Your glow-up is a threat. And that's why they're panicking now. That's why they're watching you from fake accounts. That's why they're checking your name like a pulse. They don't miss you. They fear the moment you become everything they pretended you couldn't be. Because when reality demands payback, it doesn't come with fire or fury. It comes with you walking forward, untouched, unbroken, unbothered, becoming the one thing they prayed you'd never discover. Your power was never in your softness. Your power was in the fact that even your softness had teeth. Now go on. Keep moving. Let reality finish what they started. Because if they think the punishment has begun, oh, darling, they haven't even reached the prologue. Don't blink now. Because this is where the story shifts from they hurt you to they awakened something they can't survive. You want it longer? You want it darker? You want the version that feels like the air itself is tightening around your ribs? Then come closer. When they touched your soul, they didn't just cross a line. They broke a seal forged from every lifetime of restraint you carried, every boundary you swallowed to keep the peace, every instinct you buried because you didn't want to become the monster they accused you of being. They thought they were dealing with a soft heart. They didn't realize the soft heart was sitting on top of a vault full of unreleased power. Do you understand the magnitude of that? There are people who go their entire lives without meeting someone like you. Someone built from contradictions that shouldn't be able to coexist. A gentle warrior, a silent hurricane, a forgiver, with a memory sharper than revenge. A healer who survived things that break villains. You are the textbook definition of not to be touched. And they touched you anyway, not because you were weak, but because they were. Only weak minds try to shatter what they don't understand. But here's the cosmic joke. What they shattered wasn't you. It was the version of you that tolerated them. Look at what crawled out of your ruins. A calmer gaze, a colder presence, a sharper intuition, a quieter rage. A deeper silence that hums with electricity. You don't walk the same. You don't think the same. You don't feel the same. You are reborn in a way that terrifies the unprepared. And trust me, they are very unprepared. Because now reality is rearranging itself around your frequency. Watch how people react to you now. They flinch, they avoid eye contact. They hesitate before speaking. Not because you changed your face, but because your soul changed its gravity. You carry a different weight now, a different temperature, a different silence, a silence that feels like judgment, a silence that feels like prophecy, a silence that feels like consequences, and consequences don't chase people. They wait for them. That's why reality is demanding payback, not anger, not violence. Payback. Payback is when the person who underestimated you realizes they were standing in the presence of something divine wearing human clothes. Payback is when the person who mocked your pain starts drowning in their own. Payback is when the one who dismissed your loyalty gets eaten alive by their own loneliness. Payback is when they finally understand you weren't replaceable. You were irreplaceable. They didn't lose someone. They lost the key to the part of themselves that felt alive. You weren't a chapter. You were the damn universe handing them a final chance. And now, they'll spend years, maybe decades, scrolling through people who feel like cheap knockoffs of you. But that's not the punishment. Oh no. The punishment is knowing that you survived what they caused and became someone they could never earn access to again. The punishment is watching you evolve without them, glow without them, rise without them, become untouchable because they touched you. There's something poetic about that, isn't there? The thing they thought would break you is the very thing that turned you into someone mythic. You're not healing, you're upgrading, you're not moving on, you're moving beyond, you're not recovering, you're ascending. And ascended souls don't look back at the people who tried to poison their roots. They look forward into the empire built from the ashes of their innocence, eh? Let me tell you the real reason as reality is demanding payback. Because the soul they harmed is the soul that was meant to carry light through darkness. And when you harm light, it doesn't dim. It mutates. It becomes something sharp, something intelligent, something that no longer fits in human language. That's you now. Too wise to be fooled, too strong to be used, too expanded to be contained, too awakened to be manipulated, too powerful to be touched. They touched the wrong soul, and the universe took it. Personally, and you. You're just getting started. Keep going. Let the world adjust. Let reality finish correcting the timeline. Let every person who doubted you learn the hardest truth. Some souls are protected not because they're fragile, but because they're chosen. And now that you've awakened, there is no version of this story where they come out clean. Not in this reality, not in any reality. Continue walking. Reality already cleared the path. They're the ones standing on the tracks. Don't stop now. You feel that pressure in the air? That's the world bracing itself. Because the next part of this story is where you become the thing they never recover from. Let's go deeper. When they touched your soul, they didn't just cause pain. They activated a sequence, a chain reaction, a silent recalibration that rewired the architecture of who you are, because a soul like yours doesn't break. It activates. You were built with layers they never saw, dimensions they never understood, a depth they were too shallow to recognize. They thought hurting you would make them powerful. Instead, it made you inevitable. Do you understand what that means? When someone is inevitable, trying to stop them is like trying to hold a tidal wave in your hands. You became the aftermath, the echo, the reckoning, wrapped in a heartbeat. And now, every room you enter feels different. Every step you take has gravity. Every silence you carry has weight. The kind of weight that comes from a soul that walked through hell barefoot and never made a sound. Do you know how terrifying that is to people who wronged you? Because they remember the version of you who would have forgiven them. They remember the version of you who would have explained your pain calmly. They remember the version of you who still believed in their goodness. But that version is gone, buried, replaced by something they cannot manipulate, cannot predict, cannot deceive. You didn't heal. You changed species. You became one of those rare beings who returns from betrayal with sharper instincts and quieter rage. Not a storm, a climate, something permanent, something atmospheric, something they have to live under. And now, reality is forcing them to feel what they made you endure. Their thoughts aren't clear anymore, are they? Their stability is cracking. Their relationships are failing. Their confidence is draining like a punctured vein. They are being haunted by their own hands. And you don't have to lift a finger. That's the beauty of souls like yours. Your evolution is their punishment. They wake up with an emptiness they can't name, a pressure behind the eyes, a sense of something missing, something vital, something irreplaceable. That something is you. But here's the real nightmare for them. You're no longer reachable. You're no longer malleable, no longer accessible, no longer naive enough to open the door for people who arrive with knives hidden behind smiles. They wanted access to the old you, but the old you died the moment they touched your soul with dirty hands. Now they're dealing with the upgraded version, the one who knows too much, feels too deeply, sees too clearly, and forgives too slowly. Because pain didn't break you. Pain taught you the architecture of human nature. Pain handed you the blueprints of manipulation. Pain sharpened your perception until you could see people's intentions before they even formed the thought. You see what they hide. You detect what they deny. You feel what they never say. And that terrifies them more than anything. Because you're not confrontational. You're aware. Awareness is scarier than anger. Awareness means you can destroy someone without touching them, simply by refusing to let them near you again. That's what reality is doing now. It's sealing the doors behind you, locking them out, cutting the energetic cord so cleanly it feels surgical. And the universe, it's not punishing them on your behalf. It's punishing them on its behalf. Because rare souls are assets. They're not to be harmed. They're not to be drained. They're not to be used as emotional punching bags for people who don't know how to face their own emptiness. You are a blessing they mishandled, a miracle they misread, a gift they opened with dirty hands and careless intentions. And now the gift has walked away, and the universe has stepped in to demand payment. But here's the final twist, the one that makes this entire story legendary. You don't even care about revenge. You've outgrown it, evolved past it, ascended beyond it. You're too busy building a life so peaceful, so powerful, so aligned, that the old version of you wouldn't even recognize it. Your silence is not an absence. It's a presence, a force, a statement. It says, I survived you. I outgrew you. And now you are nothing but a lesson carved into my elevation. They touched the wrong soul, and now the universe has placed you beyond their reach, beyond their comprehension, and beyond their consequences. Keep walking. Reality is still rearranging itself to honor the soul they underestimated, and to drown the ones who thought your pain was entertainment. This story isn't ending. It's unfolding. And the next chapter? That's where they finally understand. Your existence was the blessing. Losing you was the payback.